Hi everybody, Scott Davenport here to talk today about the blending modes in Perfect Layers, in particular the Lighten blending mode. The blending modes in Suite 9 are very powerful and often overlooked. Today I'll use these shots of the San Diego skyline to show how the Lighten blending mode works and how they can be used to quickly make a composite of several exposures. Here I have 3 shots of San Diego taken over the course of the hours straddling sunrise. The top layer is after the sun was above the horizon and the buildings are well lit. The middle layer is before sunrise, which looks cool, plenty of city lights, but the buildings on the right are a little dark. And lastly, the bottom layer, which is my favorite of the 3, there's a good mix of ambient and artificial light, nice hints of motion in the water, good reflection, and the sky is still a nice deep tone of blue. I want to take these 3 images and blend them together to get a touch more brightness in the buildings and bring out a few more city lights into that skyline. The bottom layer is my base layer, the exposure that has most of what I want already in it. I'll select the middle layer, which is my darkest frame, and play with the blending mode. The normal blending mode displays everything in that layer entirely and completely hides the bottom layer. Now when I choose the Lighten blending mode, watch what happens. It's a subtle change. Let me turn off the middle layer for a moment. In the left tower, a few more lights will appear, a few more along the harbor, and this top tower on the right will change from blue to purple. I'll turn the middle layer back on. You see the change? There, there, and there. What the Lighten blending mode is doing is it's looking at the selected layer and saying, find all the pixels that are brighter than the layer below it and show only those. So very quickly, with just a change of a blending mode, you can pick up more illumination in a city skyline. Put your dark layer above your light layer, change the mode to Lighten, and you're off to the races. So I like that. I'm going to merge that layer down, and now I want to bring some brightness into the buildings in the skyline. I want that skyline to stand out a little more, especially these buildings on the right that are still a little dark. Now, I only want to work with the buildings, so first, I'll mask away the sky and the water. I'll start with the quick brush on the sky and paint a lazy stroke through the sky to remove the bulk of it. Next, I'll use the masking brush with the perfect brush enabled and work through the edges of the buildings to make the mask more refined. And along the way, I'll also use the Command click option to lock the color sample that the brush uses so I don't accidentally mask away large portions of the buildings. I'm not concerned if the mask isn't pixel precise, and in fact, I want a little bleed into the buildings. Let me zoom in and show you. I'll turn the mask on with Control M. So there's a little bleeding into this center tower, and that's okay. That'll help make the blend smoother, helps avoid haloing sometimes. But what's important is I'm masking away the brighter pixels in the scene that I don't want, the sky and the water. Masking away the water is a simple affair with the masking bug. Grab the bug, choose the linear bottom preset, and drop the bug just below the buildings. Let me turn off the mask, Control M. And the last thing to do is I'll change the blending mode to Lighten. As I hover over Lighten, you'll notice a few more building lights appear in the skyline. I'll do that again, and you can see a clear change in the building at the far right. Of course, the skyline is way too bright, so the final touch is to lower the layer opacity and rein those buildings back in. I'll start around 30%, and that's still a little too bright. Let me play around here a little more. I want just a little extra touch of brightness. And I'll stay about there, a little brighter, because I know my stylizing tends to darken my images. Right, I'm happy with that, and I'll merge that layer down, and this image is all set and ready to go into effects. I'll make it a smart layer so that the rest of my workflow processing can be re-edited. So that is the Lighten blending mode in Perfect Layers. Again, the mode compares the selected layer to the layer below it and displays only those pixels that are brighter, and it's excellent for cityscapes. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again soon.